Coach is Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below so we can let you know when new content's been uploaded.
Okay, so this is just a drawing, and like I said, this is simple as can be. I mean, it's on paper, simple. Dive. That's it. On paper. You know, it's if we get a play side shade, we're going to ace that. So all that means is the center is going to take an approach like he's basing this guy. So he's working to his midline, and what the guard is going to do, he's going to step down really hard and take a longer step than what we normally would, and really try to stab the nose guard with the tip of his inside shoulder. Crucial coaching point here is going to be to keep his outside arm free, because he's working to build a wall right here. So he's thinking, I got to keep the nose where he's at. I'm going to climb vertical, and I'm going to pick up any flow that wants to come over the top. We'll have some cuts of that for you here in a bit. Same thing against the 4-2. You can see I've got the dotted line here. That's because we are always going to single at the point of attack. We're not going to waste a double team here because we want to get bodies up on the second level. The reason that we're able to get away with that is because our B-back is reading what happens here. He's going to be in whichever gap the tackle is not in. So if this guy were to stay in B, he's going to sink in here and get it vertical on that dotted line. If that guy were to wash over or pinch, he's going to slide it out into there. If the whole edge collapses, and this would be more applicable like against an odd front, which you'll see next, and he'll bounce it all the way out. So he's got 3 creases. Most likely the ball is going to hit in one of these two. It will at times bounce out, but most of the time we're in here. So that's against 4-2. And then this is what it looks like against an odd front. This is probably the hardest block that we ask our tackles to do, because most of the time when we get this, we don't get a lot of 4 eyes like a lot of people. We'll get 4 techniques, and that guy, when he pinches and our guy comes down, that turns into a base, and that's a tough one because we got to convert his lateral movement to vertical push. And on that, the play side A back is going to chase the tackle's outside foot. That's his base rule, and we're going to go into that in it's been a long day, man. I've been here since 6. So we're going to go very in depth on that. All right. We got game clips. So these are all in here for various reasons. We got zone dive here to this side. Only gets 6 here. The reason why this is on here, you can see what happens when we get I want to look at what happens here with the play side tackle and play side A. You can see what happens when we get a heavy hip. I'm not happy with his pad level. I want him lower, but you'll be able to see it better from the end zone view. I love what our tackle does here. So he is going to work his butt off to keep that outside arm free. And we talk to them, we tell him, if that guy wants to play heavy on our hip, deliver him vertically, like just get vertical push as you're climbing. And so he does a really good job here of keeping that outside arm free and kind of leaning back on that guy and holding off on the gap. Even though the ball ends up, this would be an example of it hitting an A gap, because we've got a 3 technique, so the B back sinks in. Even though all that happens, if the ball were to be in B gap, this is what we want. This is this really good job of just maintaining your leverage and keeping, maintaining edge integrity there and not allowing that guy to collapse you. So this is an example. This is a good power veer right here. Really happy with that. Not happy with what our backside guard does. He needs to put this kid on the ground. Okay, so he needs to throw that arm through that crotch and drop that kid right there. We can't let him cross over and make that play, because our B-back's trusting that we're going to get the defense cut in half. Okay, so everybody up here does their job. It's a sink read. You can see him sinking in here. Okay, and because we don't get the job done there, we get a tackle. Now, I'm not going to complain. That's a 6-yard gain, but like against better teams, that's not gonna fly. So instead of trying to turn that into like a base reach type of thing, he needs to drop that kid right there. He needs to be on the ground right now. So we will cut all the time on the backside. Okay, this is an example. So the last one you're asking about, would we rather run it to a 3 or a shade? So right here, here's your examples. Here we are to a 3. This one is to a shade. This is a semifinal game against a really good team. We ended up beating them. It was like our kids played out of their minds. It was like one of those games like you're like very proud of how they played. But we're running zone dive this way towards the camera. They're in a 4-2. Got a shade here, shade 5. See, good job. This would like in our terminology, this would be an up stunt. I think they had a blown assignment because they end up having him up the field and him out. Pad level from the A-back could be better, but he gets the job done. Really good example of an ace. Here, we'll go to the end zone view. Really good example of an ace right here between the guard and center. They do a good job carrying this guy vertically, and then the guard does a very good job of eventually cutting off flow from the backside linebacker. Really good stuff there. Okay, our tackle staying on his tracks. He's not chasing the backer. Knows, all right, I got to get up to the free safety. And while he doesn't block him, he affects the kid enough for us to get some extra yards. And that's a really solid play. Like we are very much outmanned in this game, and our kids did a really good job controlling the line of scrimmage. This is good game. Here you have it again. And I think the reason I have this one is for one of the key things is, cutting the defense in half. So we freeze them. We're like, these guys score a lot of points. So we're trying to run. We try to run as few plays. We're snapping this ball with like 2 seconds on the play clock because we're trying to keep their offense off the field. So we got a question, ever get bigger splits on the backside? No, we don't. We keep them the same just because we check so much at the line. Our splits stay consistent at 3 feet. We don't screw with them. It used to be in split back veer system, and we would mess with splits and do all that stuff for this and how much we change at the line of scrimmage. We keep them all consistent. Yeah, so this is getting the defense cut in half. So let's look at it from the back. So we got a 4-2. And remember, we talked to our center and guard, all of our backside guys. All right, everybody that's aligned over here must stay over here so that when we get the sync read, we've got a crease. So this is why we don't care if we run it to a shade or a 3. It doesn't really matter. So the B-back does a good job dipping in, sinking into A. Good job dropping the backside defensive tackle. And we get up to the backside backer, and now a nice little 8-yard gain to extend the drive on 3rd and short. We're looking for efficiency on this play. We're not going to break a ton of long runs on this play. But this play is all about efficiency and all about setting up inside veer, forcing the dive key to play heavy, all that stuff. So this is some stuff that we started doing this year to screw around, just to add a little bit more variety. Like I said, with one of the things that's good about this play is you can run it out of a ton of different formations and to try to break up tendencies. And so we felt like, we had some guys out on the edge that, like, if we could get our A-backs the ball, not just like on toss and pitching it to them. All we're doing here is we're running zone dive. And then just have a little now screen on the back. There's nothing revolutionary. I mean, I'm not gonna call it an RPO because I told him to throw the damn thing. But this is just a way thing. It's a safe play where we got zone dive going. The only thing that we tell the backside tackle on this is you must cut that kid, which he does anyway. But just a nice, easy way to get guys the ball out in space. Like I said, it's not groundbreaking, but like if we got A-backs that can catch and run, it's just a little wrinkle that makes it a little bit more difficult to defend. These guys everybody's blocking zone dive. The one thing I will say about it is if you're going to do stuff like this, you got to have the fast screen away from the play side. And the reason for that is you just don't want the quarterback's hand coming down on the B-back's helmet as he passes. You see it times up where That would be potential if we had thrown it out the other way. Here it is again. It's getting a pretty good athlete the ball, and we'll take them one-on-one with the corner. So we did that a few times this year, just as a way to try to spread it out a little bit, because we are very, very run heavy. We're probably, probably about 90% run. We don't throw much.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.